Hey everybody, what's up? So today's book is going to be Stephen King's The Mist. Now I want to say I saw the movie before I read the book, and in all honesty, there were parts about the movie I didn't like, especially the ending. I couldn't figure out why. And part of the problem I had with the movie was some of it didn't feel right. It was almost like there should have been more to it. Obviously, the facts were great, but one of the things that I found out during some research when looking about information about the movie and the book is that a lot of people think The Mist itself took the characters into the realm of Todash, where if you read the Dark Tower series, you know that it's kind of like this realm between worlds. If you don't know what happened, basically there's a military research facility, and a storm comes through a small town. And what happens is this mist starts coming everywhere. Nobody knows what's going on. And the main character and his son basically go to a grocery store to get supplies because there's no power. And they end up being stuck there because of this mist. Nobody can see it. These weird tentacle like monsters and other things are all around. You can't see anything. And in the book, I can kind of understand why a lot of people think what happened was they went Todash because in the end, the way they describe the world kind of sounds very apocalyptic, especially with the way we know the Dark Tower is, where as the characters go from one area to the other, it's very, very much changed. Like they go to the world that the Stand existed in, and these other places. And trying to find it here, a lot of what they go, what happens. I'm trying to find the line. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find it. Here we go. They describe one of the monsters and it's perfect. Something came again. That is all I can say for sure. It may have been the fact that it mist only allowed us to glimpse things briefly, but I think it is as likely that there are certain things that your brain simply disallows. Kind of like if you King was influenced by Lovecraft, and so this kind of sounds like some of it, part of what he Lovecraft talks about. There are things of such darkness and horror, just, I suppose, as there are things of such great beauty that they will not fit through the puny human doors of perception. Once again, um, it was six-legged. I know that. Its skin was slaty gray, that mottled to dark brown in places. Those brown patches reminded me observably of the liver spots on Mrs. Carmody's hands. Its skin was deeply wrinkled and grooved, and clinging to it were scores and hundreds of these pinkish bugs. The bugs were kind of like things that would attack the people in the grocery store and other places with the stalk eyes. I don't know how big it actually was, but it passed directly over us. One of its gray, wrinkled legs smashed down right beside my window, and Mrs. Repler, who's one of the characters in the book, she was like a teacher, uh, and his son was very attached to her. She watched him while everybody in the store, was going crazy. Um, so later she could not see the underside of its body, although she craned her neck up to look. She saw only two cyclopedian legs going up and up into the mist like living towers until they were lost to sight. Basically, just imagine something of that size, you know, walking through a world, especially in our world where we don't think about these things. So obviously, yes, it is possible that they went Todash because they went into a realm where nothing was expected. It's very apocalyptic, um, and a lot of it takes place. There's like this crazy woman who is basically a Bible thumper, and she's saying, "Oh, it's the end of times. This is very Old Testament." And it was not something I would expect from a King novel, although like Children of the Corn had a religious theme to it. And so yes, do I think there's kind of with the way those monsters were? Obviously, yes, there's some Lovecraftian influence there, But King's descriptions of not only the mist, but the bugs that attack the building, um, the things in the dark, the mist. Like if you tried to leave the store, these things would actually attack you. And it wasn't until a certain point that they actually described what they look like. Is a good book? Yes. Is the movie good? I would say not really. Um, I like the beginning of the movie because they had some references to some of King's work. So it's kind of worth watching in that regards. I really like the book a lot better. Like I said, there were just parts of the movie that didn't feel right, like the ending. The reason why they really, I mean, they explained the mist, but they really didn't go into a lot of the details. And the idea of this cramped store where all these people are in is under attack, and at one point they have to go into a pharmacy nearby because someone's injured, and just like the way they describe the creatures that are inside this thing and like what they find is just messed up. It is pretty sad though, because the main character, you don't know what happened to his wife. In the book, it explains it. In the movie, not so much. He left his wife and he took his son with him, and when their neighbors to go get supplies. Honestly, yes, I'm not using names. Of course, I could do that, but I don't try to always focus on names because I like to focus on story more than anything else. And it's part of what was it from Skeleton Crew, which I don't remember reading. I would have to go back and check my book. Some of them were packed up. So yes, there I like the ties, and there is a lot to it. I do recommend reading it. Don't really, if you read it first, don't watch the movie because the movie's going to be spoiled for you. This is kind of one of those things where the movie I kind of enjoyed it, but I don't know. It's just the book was better, in a lot of situations. That's the case. Talk to y'all later. Take care. Bye.